a lot of things happening
Yeah.
in the Trump administration, the ongoing soap opera that is this current government administration. And first, we were going to talk, me and you talked yesterday about, well, let's see, we're going to talk about Steve Bannon being removed from the National Security Council.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell pulling the nuclear rule change for the filibuster in order to get Gorsuch confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, and we were going to talk about these things. And then you fucking text me last night at like 9 o'clock, and you're like, we just bombed the shit out of Syria. And I was like, oh, fuck. Here we go.
Yeah.
Less than 100 days in, and we're bombing the shit out of other countries. And, you said yourself, Chris, that you were terrified, or that this is terrifying. So I'm not, super up to date on our foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
So why is this such a bad thing in your mind?
Well, okay, so Syria, maybe, or maybe Turkey, maybe, launched a chemical weapons attack at Syrian citizens last week, or earlier this week even.
The beautiful babies,
yeah,
as Trump put it.
That he refuses access to the country.
Right.
And as a response to that, Donald Trump unilaterally...
and when we say unilaterally, you mean without congressional
yes.
approval.
He had no congressional approval for this blatant act of war.
Mm-hmm.
Launched 50 Tomahawk missiles at $500,000 apiece at this place where they say the airstrike originated from.
They assume.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, do we have hard proof?
I'm sure that they have more hard proof, obviously, than we do.
Well,
but, even that, Donald Trump doesn't read intelligence briefings, so who's to know whether he is actually going off of any actual information or just a gut feeling or something. Either way, apparently, and this is, I guess, good news, he warned Russia that it was coming.
Right?
So
before he told the National Security Council or any of his own staff, he talked to Russia and asked permission if it was okay.
Pretty much.
That's kind of the spin that I see being put on it. He needs to deflect. He needs an opportunity to take the focus off of the whole Russian collusion with the election. So he calls up old Putin. He's like, "Hey, honey, I gotta do something. They're getting close to figuring out, how big of pieces of shit we really are. Is it okay if I bomb this Air Force base in Syria to get some people on my side to take some?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's cool.
Go for it. We'll just pull our dudes out of there."
Yeah, but here's the thing: you see all these people are posting all these old tweets of Donald Trump's where he's blasting Obama, saying, he shouldn't bomb Syria without congressional approval, or that, he's going to go into Iran and Libya to help his failing ratings and all these kind of things. And it seems like he's doing the exact same thing. And didn't he order this missile strike from Mar-a-Lago?
Yes, he did.
Is that the kind of person that you want making these kind of decisions for our country?
And it's real fucked up because even last night, within an hour or two of seeing this pop up on every news website in the world, Trump supporters on my page started backing him.
Really?
And I was like, seriously? He's currently starting a war, and you're defending this choice.
Right. And his whole thing when he was running for president was, kind of a non-interventionist platform.
Mm-hmm.
We need to focus on us. We need to focus on America. We need to stay out of Syria. We need to stay out of these other countries. And here he is launching a missile attack on Syria based on reports that they used chemical weapons on their own people, which is, depending on how old you are, is very reminiscent of the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
First it was WMDs.
I mean,
first
and that's
it
the
was
thing.
Iraq has WMDs, and then it was, Saddam Hussein's using chemical warfare on his own people, so we've got to liberate the country. We've got to do the right thing because we are the world police.
Team America.
And it just seems like it's happening all over again. It's very deja vu.
Yeah.
And it just seems like, the politicians change, but the game is the same.
Yeah. It's very distressing. Because last night they hadn't said that they had warned the Russians. And I had texted you that thing. Well, Syria and the Russians have been friends for a really long time. They've been helping out a lot in the ground war against the rebels. And this is a pretty serious fucking thing if we killed any Russians in these bomb strikes.
Right.
But apparently they had been warned and they had evacuated.
But based on reports, it doesn't appear like Vladimir Putin has very much respect for his own people's lives either.
Unless one actually gets taken by another country, in which case he, goes off and, gets real about it.
So I don't know. I mean, what do you think this can do as far as, the future of our relationship with Russia?
He was nice enough to ask his daddy if he had permission, so I don't know. We'll probably be fine.
Vladdy, can I bomb Syria? Okay, just over there. Here's the thing:
don't blow up this part. I like that part.
If he had warned Russia, how likely is it that Russian operatives warned Syrians?
Yeah.
I mean, are there any Syrian casualties? Is this Air Force base even operational? What if it was just a hit on a base that maybe they weren't using very often or had time to evacuate, and this is all just a dog and pony show?
Yeah.
To deflect. I mean, we won't know now. It's still very early. I mean, this happened last night.
Yeah.
So less than 24 hours at the time that we're recording this. So it's just, I don't know. The problem I have is that a lot of Trump supporters or anti-Hillary people were like, Hillary's going to go into Syria. She's going to start World War III. She's going to start a war with Russia. That's why we shouldn't vote for her. And, Trump, less than 100 days into his term,
is bombing another country.
Is bombing Syria.
Yeah.
And quite realistically putting us in the same situation that Trump supporters feared Hillary Clinton would.
Yeah. And meanwhile...
she just wanted to pursue a no-fly zone.
Right. And meanwhile, those people are now defending this decision to unilaterally bomb another country.
One thing I want to say is that the reasoning behind us doing this is because of these so-called atrocities. Rand Paul actually came out and was like, why aren't we looking into this and seeing if it's not just propaganda first instead of just jumping the gun and taking military action. But we are in bed with like Saudi Arabia, who, I mean, they commit atrocities.
Yep.
Right? There's other countries out there that commit atrocities against their own people that we're not really doing anything about because we're buying oil from them. And where's the pro-life sentiment with that? Where's the humanitarian sentiment with those things? I mean, if you ask me, I kind of agree with the non-interventionist policies on these things. We need to stay the fuck out of the Middle East. We're still in Iraq. We're still in Afghanistan. We're in Syria now.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stay the fuck away from Israel.
Yeah.
I don't understand the Republican love affair with Israel. It's not our country. Let them do their own thing. Let them fight it out. And but it's all about money.
Yeah.
And
but the thing is, like, we're throwing boatloads of money at Israel. Like, we're not even getting anything from them. We are throwing them boatloads of money.
Is it a religious thing?
It has
because
to be.
I mean, it's a war against it's a war between the Jews and the Muslims, right?
More or less.
Over Israel. And I know that, from what I remember going to church, it's, Israel's like the Holy Land for the Jews, but yet
therefore also the Christians.
Yeah, but the Muslims believe, no, it's ours. It belongs to us. And I've never ever understood why we have such a hard-on for Israel.
I don't know.
I just say fucking stay out of it. We've got problems here at home that we could be worried about, as opposed to meddling in the Middle East.
Yeah. And ultimately, I think that's where all of this ends up. We've been meddling in the Middle East for 60 years, at least. I mean, we're not apparently going to stop anytime soon.
I say we just need to pack our shit, go home, and improve the lives of Americans. You know what I'm saying?
God forbid.
We don't need to we don't need to police the rest of the world. Okay? And, fucking shame on you if you're a Republican and you want to talk about pro-life and saving babies and all this shit, but yet you support wars in the Middle East. You support like unilateral strikes against other countries where upwards of 500,000 innocent civilians are being killed by us and our own soldiers on top of that. You're not pro-life. You're just a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I don't know. This whole thing just upsets me.
And I feel like that's the proper response. There are some other things, I guess, that
I'm not saying
also
I'm not
happen.
saying Assad is, I'm not trying to condone anything.
Of course not. He's a fucking monster.
He's a fucking monster. But, is it our place to interfere in their civil war,
I mean, we got some help in our civil war, didn't we? Like the North?
From,
I don't
like what? The
actually
French
don't.
Or some shit?
Maybe. I don't know my history that well. So for those of you out there listening, educate us.
How wrong are we?
Educate us.
When
Yeah.
we talk about these things. I don't know. I would just feel more comfortable if we were doing military strikes, having a qualified person in charge of that instead of Donald Trump.
Potentially. Yeah. I mean, hell, even Rand Paul released a statement yesterday saying that it was criminal for Trump to take those actions unilaterally.
Yeah, but I mean, other presidents have done that too, and no one's ever been impeached for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could say the same thing about Bill Clinton when he bombed Kosovo.
Yeah. Or Obama with all of his many, 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 many drone strikes.
Right, but didn't he try to seek congressional approval to go into Syria, and they shot him down?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but let's move on. Let's talk about fun things.
Well, I mean, I suppose there's also, I guess, worth mentioning nuclear option, which was a thing that the Democrats had threatened to do years ago.
For the Neil Gorsuch, the filibuster. Dude, fuck you, Republicans. You stole Barack Obama's Supreme Court seat.
Yep.
They straight up fucking stole that shit.
Yeah.
Merrick Garland. Remember Merrick Garland.
Hashtag remember Merrick Garland.
Because you guys fucking stole that shit. You're pieces of shit. And this morning I see the news that, yes, he was confirmed.
Yeah.
So,
Of course he was.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Neil Gorsuch. Fuck Mitch McConnell. Fuck that spineless piece of shit, John McCain. Fuck all of them.
In a big old pile.
Right. I don't want to talk about this stuff.